When a man misses you, you'll never hear him say it out loud first, but you'll feel it, because his silence screams louder than his words. You think he's forgotten? No, missing you shows up in ways he simply can't control, and once you know the signs, you'll never doubt it again. Here's the truth. When a man misses you, he becomes hyper-aware of your presence, even when you're not there. He checks your updates. He notices the smallest things about your life, and he quietly compares every new person to you. He'll replay moments you shared, sometimes even dropping a hint about them just to see how you react. And even when he stays silent, that's when you're actually on his mind the most, because his heart is doing the talking. He won't. If this is resonating with you, don't just keep watching. Drop it in the comments right now, because I want to know if you've seen these signs before. And make sure you subscribe so you never miss the next insight that could change how you see his behavior forever. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something straight. A man can hide his words. He can hide behind his pride. He can even hide in silence. But when he starts to miss you, he slips. Missing someone isn't something you can control. It's not a tactic. It's not a choice. That's the heart speaking louder than the ego. Have you ever noticed how people try hard to act like nothing bothers them? They post the pictures, wear the smiles, play the cool game. But inside, the emptiness eats at them. And when it eats long enough, it shows. He'll break his own rules. He'll stumble. He'll reach out without planning to. That's the truth about men. We're good at pretending until feelings take the wheel. So, if you're wondering, does he think about me? Does he care at all? Listen carefully, because the signs don't appear in what he says. They show up in the mistakes he can't control. And when a man misses you, those slip-ups will come. He breaks his silence. Let me tell you something about men and silence. Every man, when he's trying to prove a point, when he's holding on to his pride, tells himself one thing: I won't call her, I won't reach out, I'm finished. He'll sit there acting like he's the strongest, most disciplined man alive. He'll puff his chest, show his friends he's unshaken, repeat over and over, I'm not making the first move. But here's the truth. Silence is always the first wall to crumble when a man truly misses a woman. Because missing someone is not a tactic. It's not a plan. It's not even a choice. It's pressure that builds. It's that late night when the phone is on the pillow and his thoughts are spinning. It's that morning when he wakes up expecting a message from you, only to realize it's not there. That right there is when silence starts to break him. A man thinks he's in control. He thinks he can outstubborn his emotions, but you and I both know that feelings scream louder than pride. Missing someone is like trying to hold your breath underwater. You can last a little while, but eventually you'll come up for air. And when he does, silence is the first thing to disappear. Now watch how it plays out. At first, he resists. He scrolls through your old texts but stops before typing. He opens your page, stares at your photos, then exits quick, like he wasn't just there for half an hour. He even drafts a message, "Hey, how are you?" Then deletes it, telling himself, "No, not today." But missing you is a war inside his mind. And when he starts losing, he slips. He hits send. He dials your number. He breaks the silence he swore he'd keep. And understand this, it's not weakness. It's proof you matter. He left a mark on his soul that ego couldn't erase. Silence only works when feelings are shallow. But when love, chemistry, and memories run deep, silence turns heavy. That's when the slip-ups come. Sometimes it's not even a call. Sometimes it's small. He'll send you a meme at 1 a.m., acting like it's casual. He'll call by accident and say it was a pocket dial. He'll send a random text about nothing important just to check if you reply. But pay attention. When a man truly doesn't care, he never reaches out. When he breaks his silence, it's his heart taking control, even when his pride is shouting in the back. Now here's what women need to hear. Don't confuse silence with not caring. Silence is often a disguise. It's a mask men wear so they don't look weak. Men are raised to believe. Don't be soft. Don't show too much. Don't let her see how much you care. So they hide in silence, thinking that makes them strong. But when you've touched a man's spirit, When you're in his thoughts, day after day, silence cracks. It can't last forever. And it usually happens when you least expect. Not when you're waiting by the phone. Not when you're posting your best photo hoping he'll notice. No, it's when you've moved on with your day. When you've stopped checking. When you finally feel at peace. That's when it burns him the most. Because silence cuts both ways. Your absence, your quiet, echoes. And men may never say it out loud, but they feel that echo louder than you think. That's why when he finally breaks silence, it's more than a message or a call. It's proof. Proof that no matter how much he tried to hold back, no matter how tough he tried to act, you stayed, living in his head and in his heart. That's why that text appears. That's why the call comes. That's why you get the just checking on you message out of nowhere. It's not random. It's not casual. It's the first crack in the wall he built. Understand this, a man breaking his own silence is not just communication, it's revelation. It shows you where his heart really is. It proves pride has a limit, but longing does. When a man starts missing you deeply, he doesn't always come out and say it. That would be too simple, too open. His pride won't let him pick up the phone and admit, I miss you, I want to see you. Instead, he tries to play it cool. He tells himself he's strong enough to keep quiet. But the truth? His heart drags him back into your world. He begins showing up where you are, and he'll act like it's coincidence, but you and I know the truth. When a man misses you, he craves your presence, even when he can't admit it. He wants to feel your energy again, that comfort, that bond. And sometimes the only way he knows to feed that need, without saying it out loud, is by placing himself near you. That's when you see him pop up where he never used to. Suddenly, he's at the coffee shop you love, waiting in line like it's nothing. Suddenly he's around when your friends invite you somewhere, or maybe it's online. Suddenly he's in your comments. Suddenly he's liking your posts. He's watching your stories the moment they go up. And let's be honest, men don't spend time where they don't want to be. If he's there, it's on purpose. If he's around you, it's because he's pulled there. So when you see him showing up in your world, that's not accident. That's his heart whispering, I can't stay away. And soon, it's never subtle. At first, it's a random like on a photo from weeks back. Then it's a comment on something funny you posted. Then it becomes more. Step by step, the wall breaks. And the truth comes out, not in words, but in actions he can't hide. Next thing you know, he's sliding into group plans, finding reasons to be nearby. And when you notice him, he'll act casual. He'll shrug and say, oh, I didn't even know you'd be here. But he knew. He knew exactly. Missing you pushes him out of hiding and back into your view. Because being present is how he feeds what's silence starved. Think about it. When someone doesn't matter to us, we don't chase their shadow. We don't go out of our way to find their company. But when someone's absence feels heavy, you feel pulled back to them. Even when you swore you'd never return, the pull becomes too strong. That's what happens to a man trying to resist but finally giving in. He shows up. He chooses to be near you. Because even the smallest moment close to you feels better than staying trapped in lonely pride. Don't be fooled by the act though. Sometimes he won't approach you directly. He'll hover, he'll linger, waiting for you to notice him. He'll pretend it was coincidence, that it wasn't intentional. But men don't move that way by accident. If he's suddenly in your world again, it's because his heart brought him there. His actions reveal him, even if his words stay silent. And the timing makes it clearer. He doesn't show up when everything's smooth and communication is open. He appears after distance, after silence, after trying to stay away. That's when the slip happens. Because you don't go looking for someone you've forgotten. You don't stand in places connected to someone you never think about. You do it only when the pull is too strong to fight. Believe me, a man missing you uses presence as his confession. He may not say it outright, but he'll position himself where you feel it. It's his way of saying, I still care, I still notice, I still want to be near you, and he'll keep repeating it until you see the pattern. His pride may lock his words, but it can't lock his behavior. And when he shows up where you are, you'll know without a doubt that silence cracked him, the distance touched him, and his heart pulled him back. Another sign, he brings up old memories. One of the first ways missing you slips out is through the past. He might not come right out and say, "I miss you." He may not even admit it to himself, but watch how he talks, because if he's bringing up shared moments, that's not random. That's his heart showing its cards. Men are simple here. We don't revisit memories that don't matter. We don't rewind meaningless days. If it didn't touch us, it fades. But when a man keeps bringing up those small pieces of history, that inside joke, that road trip, that night you laughed until you couldn't breathe, it means those memories never left him. He's still carrying them. He's still living in them. And by bringing them up, what he's really saying is, "I want that again." Sometimes it starts small. Maybe he texts, "Remember that restaurant with the crazy waiter?" Or he says casually, "I drove past that place we used to go and it made me think of you." At face value it sounds light, harmless. But look deeper. That's not just talk. That's confession wrapped in nostalgia. That's him reaching back to the place where he still feels tied to you. Here's the truth. When the present feels empty, the past becomes comfort. A man missing you will try to relive the good times, even just through conversation. Those memories are his way to keep you close without admitting how badly he wants you still. And it's not only about remembering for himself, he wants you to remember too. He wants to pull that same feeling in you, to remind you of what you had, hoping you feel the same tug he does. Men don't waste effort on this unless the connection mattered. Think about it. So many people pass through his life without leaving a trace. But you're still echoing. You're tied to songs, places, foods, jokes, and moments. That's why he brings them up, not out of boredom, not because he's run out of things to say. It's because missing you takes him back to the only thing that soothes him, the memory of when he had you. And notice how it happens. And sometimes it's deliberate, like he wants to check your reaction. Other times it slips out, like he can't stop himself. Maybe he's laughing with friends and says, "She used to say this all the time." Or maybe when he's with you, he drifts into a story about a moment that shaped him. That's when you know the heart is speaking louder than the mind. The truth is, when a man brings up old memories, he's not just reminiscing. He's reaching. Reaching for the connection. Reaching for the way you made him feel. Reaching for the safety and joy that came with you. And even if he won't confess it, it's his way of testing. He wants to see if you remember too. If you laugh at the same story. If you carry those pieces still. Because if you do, his heart believes there's hope. And notice, it's often not the big things, not anniversaries, not vacations. No, it's the little things. That random Tuesday dinner, that night you fell asleep on the couch, that joke you teased him with. Why those? Because those are what stick. Those are what linger when someone truly mattered. The little ordinary moments that now feel priceless. That's where the truth hides. So when he starts pulling out old memories, understand this. His pride may guard his words, but his heart is showing its home in the times he had with you. And no matter how tough he pretends to be, no man revisits the past that often unless he wishes he could live it again. Another clear sign. He watches you more than he admits. When a man misses you, believe me, he may not say it, but he's watching. Don't be fooled. He'll act like he's too busy, like he's over it, like you're not even on his mind. That's just the surface. Behind closed doors, on his phone at night, he's keeping up with you more than he'd ever confess. His silence doesn't tell the full story. His eyes are showing what his mouth refuses to. Men are funny that way. We'll swear we don't care, but we'll scroll through every post. We'll act like we've moved on, but we'll still check if you've been online. We'll stay quiet, but we'll notice who you're with, where you are, and what you're doing. And you may think, if he's not talking to me, then I must not be on his mind. Wrong. That's exactly when you're most on his mind, because when he misses you, you become the thing he measures everything else against. And here's the part many women don't realize. Men are natural observers when they care. A man who doesn't care won't notice anything. He won't see if you changed your hair, if your style is different, or if your energy has shifted. But a man who truly misses you sees everything, even the smallest details you don't know you're showing. He notices the light in your face when you're happy, the change in your tone when you're guarded, the confidence when you've leveled up. And even if he never says a word, he's watching, because deep down, he still feels a connection. Now, don't assume it's always obvious. Many times it's quiet, even sneaky. He might not like your posts, but his name still shows up in the views. He might not send you a text, but he's watching who comments, who's around you, and what vibe you're putting out. And the strange part is, he'll convince himself it's just curiosity. He'll say, I only want to see how she's doing. But no, curiosity doesn't check this often. Curiosity doesn't follow patterns. That's not curiosity, that's him missing you. That's longing hidden under excuses. And the reason he does this is because men are wired to want some control. He might not have the closeness he once had, but keeping up with you from a distance gives him a sense of connection. It feeds the part of him that feels empty. He can't just pick up the phone and call without swallowing his pride. So instead, he watches from afar. He stays updated. He pays attention, because even if he's not directly in your life anymore, he can't stand the idea of not knowing where he fits in it. The truth is, watching you becomes his way of coping. It's the substitute for actually being with you. Every post, every story, every small update, it's like a trail of breadcrumbs he follows, trying to feel some piece of what he lost. And the irony is, the more he watches, the more he misses you. Because seeing you happy, seeing you move forward, seeing you shine without him, it stirs him inside. It hurts. And that's the moment when the cracks start to show. That's when he can't just keep watching quietly anymore, and he finally breaks the silence. But until that happens, remember this. If he's missing you, his eyes will give him away. He may pretend he's moved on, but his attention is still locked on you, and whether he admits it or not, the fact that he's still watching tells you more than words ever could. He can let go of conversations, but he can't let go of you. And that's why in those silent moments when you think you've been forgotten, that man is watching closer than he'll ever admit. He creates excuses to connect. When a man starts missing you, let me tell you what really happens. He begins making reasons, little pathways, excuses just to step back into your world. He may not come right out and say, I miss you, I need you, I want to talk, because his pride won't allow that kind of vulnerability. But the need to connect, it always slips through. So what does he do? He creates moments, he makes excuses, he'll wrap them in casualness, but underneath it's his way of saying, I can't stay away. And these excuses can look like anything. Sometimes they're practical, like, hey, do you still have that book I gave you? Or, I was just checking about that thing we talked about months ago. Other times they're playful. Remember when we argued about who makes the best pasta? I had some today and you popped into my head. And sometimes they're just flimsy. I was in your neighborhood and thought I'd say hi. See, it's not the excuse itself that matters. It's the motive. The man is searching for a way to get close again. And when you really pay attention, you can see through it. Because here's the truth. Men don't put energy into something they don't want. We don't make effort where our heart isn't invested. If he's reaching out, even in small ways, it means the silence has become too heavy for him. It means the distance is eating him alive. It means he can't stand being cut off from your energy anymore. So he fishes for a thread, something light enough that he doesn't have to admit he's missing you, but strong enough to pull him back into your space. And you'll always notice when it's not coincidence, because it won't just happen once. No, once that wall breaks, the little excuses start stacking up. He'll accidentally call you when he meant to call someone else. He'll send a random message, then follow it with, since I've got you, how have you been? Each moment of contact grows more obvious than the last. Until you see what's happening. He's trying to reconnect without saying it out loud. And here's the thing, a man doesn't risk his pride unless the pull is strong. He could stay quiet. He could walk away. He could bury the feelings, but when missing you takes over, he can't sit still. He'll look for ways to close the gap, even if it's hidden under casual small talk. Because to him, a small excuse feels safer than a big confession. It protects his pride, while still feeding his heart. And sometimes it's not words at all. The excuses show up in actions. He'll offer help out of nowhere. Need me to fix that? Want me to drop this off? He'll find reasons to show up even when they don't really make sense. All because being near you feels better than being without you. That's when you know it's not coincidence, it's not convenience, it's deliberate. That man is building his way back into your world. The truth is, excuses reveal the real story. Because think about it, if you didn't matter, he wouldn't need a reason. He wouldn't invent anything. He'd just let the silence continue. But when he can't stand the silence anymore, that's when he looks for cracks in the wall. That's when he starts reaching, testing, building tiny bridges, hoping you'll let him cross. And you can't ignore the pattern, because men don't go out of their way like this for nothing. Every excuse is his heart quietly saying, I'm not done. I still feel this. I still want to be connected to you. And the longer he keeps finding reasons, the clearer it becomes. He's not just passing through, he's trying to find his way back. So when you notice those excuses, understand what they really mean. They're not random, they're not accidents. They're hidden confessions of a man missing you more than his pride can handle. He can mask it however he wants, but underneath, every excuse is his heart speaking the truth. A truth that he still wants you, still needs that connection, and still hasn't let you go. He won't sit you down and confess, because for him, that feels too risky, too raw. Instead, his emotions start slipping through in ways he can't control. You'll notice it in his tone when he finally does talk. He'll sound lighter just because he's near you, or he'll suddenly get serious because he doesn't know how to hide the weight of what he feels. He may laugh harder at your jokes, or get quieter when you mention someone new, because the truth is, he's carrying emotions that never left. You'll see it in his eyes too. A man who misses you will hold his gaze just a little longer, as if he's searching for the connection he lost. Even if he looks away fast, that moment gives him away. His emotions live in his body, in his restlessness, in the way he leans closer even when he tries to stay guarded. He may fidget, touch his phone, shift around, but it's not random. It's energy he doesn't know how to release. Because seeing you again floods him with feelings he thought he buried. And here's the thing about men. When emotions overflow, they slip into actions. He'll remember tiny things you once told him. He'll recall your favorite drink or how you like your food. And he'll use that as a way to show you, I still know you, I still see you. That's not by accident. That's his heart speaking louder than his pride. You'll feel it in the way he checks if you're okay, or the way he gets protective when you mention struggle. These are not casual reactions, they're signs of emotions too strong to hide. And when it gets too heavy, he may finally let something slip. Maybe late at night, maybe in a text, maybe in a conversation that feels unplanned. He might say, I was thinking about you, or I miss those days, and then quickly cover it up. But the slip already happened. His emotions escaped. When a man is truly missing you, his actions become the evidence his words refuse to carry. That's why you have to pay attention to what he does, not just what he says. Because no matter how hard he tries to mask it, a man who still feels for you will always reveal it in the smallest cracks of his behavior.